Hello, welcome. Today we are going to start with contains duplicate LeetCode question, right? The question reads, given an integer array nums, return true if any value appears at least twice in the array, and return false if every element is distinct. So this is a question of a given array of integers, meaning it could be negative, it could be positive. I'm assuming that it's not sorted. It could be sorted. But what is expected of us is to determine whether they are duplicates of the integers or not, and we are going to return a boolean value of true or false. As we have here, we can check this example out. So let's create a variable array of two some um, um, okay, right. So let's say this is our sample array. So our expected output is supposed to be um, true, right? Because as we can see from here, 3 appears twice. Right, so how do we solve this problem? Now, this problem, the naive way thinking about it is that you start with, for example, let me just copy this array over here and explain. We can look through the array once and then picking the index of the first item, like for example 2. Then we use another array to compare the rest of the items left to see if it's the same as this particular value that we are on. What I mean is that we can have an I which is equal to 2 at the beginning, and then um, a j value is going to be an I minus 1, so that we can get the next index, right? So I minus 1 is going to give us 3. Um, then so we compare 2 with 3, it's not the same. We increase 3, 2 is not the same. It's not the same as 5. So we, we go to the next item, 6, not the same. 7, sorry, 7 is also not the same. So as you can see, we will go through all the array and then we will not find 2, number that is equal to 2. Right, so what we do is that we then shift the first loop to item number 2, index number 1, sorry. So that will be 3, and then we start our j. Well, you know that I was doing I all this whole time, so it's supposed to be j. So j will be equal to 5 at the beginning, because that is a 3 I minus 1, which will be our first index here, but here it will be our second index, right? So it's not the same. Move to the next item, which is going to be 6. 6 is not the same. Move to the next item, is going to be 7. 7 is not equal to I, which is j. Then the next item is going to be 3. Now we just found 3 is equal to 3, and then we can return true. But you see, this is going to be like an O of n to look through the first array, and another O of n for the second array, giving us O big O of n squared, right? This is not quite efficient, so what we are going to do is that we have to think through a solution that will probably give us like an optimal solution, the big O of n or even less. From just observation, I see that if we can stop one of the loops, just do this particular one, it will be fair. That way we will be able to like look through the array once and then get the item, right? Yes. So let's think about that. So let's clear this one. So what we can do is that to compare two items and still look through the array once, what I'm thinking is that if we start from 2, we have to find a space where we can keep 2, and then we compare the next item to what if it's already in that, then we know that it's a duplicate. If it's not, move to the next. We again store this one too in the memory, and then we compare the next item whether it is seen in any of these two previous two. If it's not, move to the we store again and then move to the next one until the list is exhausted, the array is exhausted. And then if we reach here and 3 is already in the memory storage, then we know that this is a duplicate. So what kind of data storage that we can use? I'm thinking hash map, right? So yes, so hash map will help us to do that. So quickly, let's go through the solutions. Duplicate self, going to take an array. The array is going to be a list of integer. We are going to return boolean, right? Now, first thing is that you have to do scene for the items that we've seen before. So this is the data structure for hash map. So then we look through the array. So for a number in the array, okay, so in the question the array is nums. Let me change this to nums. So for a number in nums, what we have to check if the num is in the scene set. If it's in, then obviously we found a duplicate, so we return true. If it's not, then we have to add it, right? So we do scene.add, we add the num value to it. So after going to exhausting the array, then we return, if nothing is found, we return false. So yeah, that is pretty much it. This is a big of time complexity. The space is also big of let's we didn't run this. Okay, so